What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, I want to give you an update on what Solana's price is doing and, well, what we can be doing about it. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into today's video. So over the last few weeks, Solana's price, again, has been absolutely crushing it. I mean, the price from where we were in September 14th of 2023 to now is up over 86%, which is the reason I tell you guys to constantly dollar cost average. Although the odds were stacking up against us, although it did seem as if some type of pull towards the lower $13 levels was on the way, I say, listen, just dollar cost average. If you believe in this thing in the long term, you have to look at the fact that on a macro sense, we are at the bottom of the market at some given point. Whether it's here, it doesn't really matter. And dollar cost averaging, whether you're here, or whether you're here, or whether you're here, does not really matter what your average cost is if the price is going to make a return to the upside one day. So even if the price might make a little bit of a fall to the downside, just dollar cost average, pick up a little bit of Solana here and there, maybe every week, maybe twice a week, something like that, because you just never know. And well, as you can see, now we're up 80% from some of the purchases that we made around this $18 support level. But going forward, obviously the question then becomes, well, what is Solana going to do now, right? Now that it has, made this shot up for 80%, people are questioning, is this going to continue? Is it going to slow down? Is it going to crash? What's going to happen? And I'm going to try my best to answer that. Well, what we can see is that throughout the whole 2023, throughout the course of the entire year, we have been in this ascending triangle. Now, these types of macro structures are not the most bullish in the world, I'm not going to lie, right? Although we are at the bottom of the market, and I do believe that this is the beginning of the new bull market, I'm not going to go ahead and say that this is the beginning of when we're going to just absolutely start moving to the upside. Now, sure, this could happen, but I'm not going to be willing to say that it is going to happen just like this, okay? Now, the reason that I don't believe we're just going to continue straight upwards is due to the fact that these ascending triangles within the world of crypto have an over 80% success rate of getting broken to the downside, meaning that out of 4 times, we will see this triangle break to the downside. And so with that in mind, considering the fact that that's not the best odds for the bulls, I'm not willing to say that we're about to absolutely moon here. Whereas I would say the contrary, there is a decent sized chance that we do start to slow down after this 80% pump. And maybe we even cool down all the way into the point in which we do just get a consolidated breakout to the downside, start to look for some, a higher low here, a higher level of support, and then continue to the upside afterwards, right? I think this is way more likely. Now, yes, of course, obviously I can be wrong, and I will know if I'm wrong if at any given point we just go straight through this resistance and we continue upwards. That is a possibility, and again, that's the reason why we dollar cost average no matter what. But again, I just don't think that is what is most likely. Looking at something like our daily chart prime oscillator, we're getting these early indications that a pullback or cool down is on the way. 2 overbought readings, likely to get some bearish divergence rather soon here. We of course can see here that we've not got the red reversal triangle and we've not got the blue peak finder, and we do have a little bit of room before we get to the top side here. So maybe there's a little bit more room to the upside, but it does seem as if a pullback or cool down is on the way regardless. Looking at something like our Bollinger Bands, you can see a massive overextension here. I mean, we've been sitting in the top side of these Bollinger Bands for quite a while, and generally when you do that, the pullback is usually pretty damn nice, okay? Now, if we look at something, let's go ahead and keep the Bollinger Bands on here, and let's just go to the weekly charts for a second. What you can also see is we are overextended on the weekly charts as well. We have now put in multiple candle closes, or multiple candles at least, in the top side of our weekly Bollinger Bands, and in these moments in which we do this, again, we will generally get a pullback to the downside. So considering the fact that not only are we in a structure that will generally break to the downside, we're getting a ton of indication that as we do approach the top side of the structure, we're getting overextended and the bulls are just slowing down. And so with that in mind, I am still dollar cost averaging. I am still buying a little bit of Solana here and there because I just do not care what its price does down here. I don't care if it goes up. I don't care if it goes down, because in the long term, if our goal is here, sometime next year, towards the end of next year, I don't really care what this looks like. I don't really care if it does this and this and this and this and this and then goes. I don't care if it does this, then this, then this and this and this and then it goes. I genuinely couldn't care less, okay? Because if this is the end goal, like I'm confident it is, that we will get back up to this ATH at some point, the 10, 15, 20% movements in here are, they're nothing. They're nothing to me, okay? So I am still dollar cost averaging, but I am being careful, and I am being cautious, and I am being aware of the fact that maybe slowing down the dollar cost average while we are getting close to the top side of this ascending structure would be a good idea, because better buying opportunities could be on the way. So watch very closely how we do interact with the top side of the structure, and I will continue to keep you updated as we do press forward and see how this does play out. As I mentioned before, right now at this current point, I am slowing down my dollar cost average a bit towards the top side here, but I am still buying every single week. And of course, if you do want access to see when I do make my purchases, you can use the Patreon link down below. But with that said, that's going to be it for today's quick update. I wanted to give you the macro outlook of what Solana is looking like. So I hope you can apply this to your own trades and to your own analysis, and I will talk to you all very soon. Peace out, everybody.